Swapping the hustle and bustle of London on a flight bound for the Scottish Highlands takes 60 minutes and cost about 50 quid, so why on earth did I just pay £445 to take the train? This is the legendary Caledonian Sleeper. It promises the ultimate hotel-style luxury on rails, but look at the size of this corridor and just wait until you see the ensuite bathroom. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on Britain's most expensive rail route. We're testing the lounge and the full onboard experience in this first-class double suite. Is this the ultimate travel hack or just a massively overpriced tourist trap? Let's get settled in and find out. Cheers. We kick off our journey this evening at a cold London Euston station amongst a busy night of rush hour traffic. It was Friday and I was incredibly excited to escape for the weekend up to Scotland. Alrighty, so that's us arrived here into London Euston. Now I've just had a text message through to let me know that the lounge will soon be open. It's going to be all the way down in platform number 1, so we'll head on down and see what that's like before we board. As I made my way to platform 1, there was already a bit of an exclusive feeling about the Caledonian Sleeper. The train was well off on its own, far away from what felt like the hustle and bustle of the rest of the station, and it wasn't then long before I got my first view of the Caledonian Sleeper. As I headed up to the lounge, I got a little peek of the standard class carriages, but in all honesty, I was keen to get there as soon as possible. In my mind, I couldn't quite work out whether this was going to be a glorified waiting room or a taste of true pre-departure luxury. The welcome from the staff as I arrived was incredibly warm, and the initial feeling was that far more of the latter in that question I posed just a moment ago. Yes, the lounge was busy, but there was plenty of seating, and the overall ambience was incredibly relaxed and formed as the perfect setting before the train was ready to board. The lounge boasted little touches of luxury and even shower facilities which you could utilise to maximise sleep on board. In the lounge itself was a range of different soft drinks and also a few snacks that you could help yourself to on a free of charge basis. With it being a Friday night, I was in a celebratory mood and subsequently was looking for something a little bit more exciting than purely a soft drink. Thankfully, the lounge menu was on hand, had a range of different more substantial food options too, but that night I was in the market for a glass of red wine, so we'll get started with one of those first. Whilst the price for the wine wasn't bad, truth be told, having paid so much for the overnight ticket, it would have been nice to have seen them given something on the house, perhaps a glass of bubbly upon arrival. I think that would have got things started really very well indeed. That all being said, let's give this one a try and see what it's like. Taste-wise, it was a world away from a fine wine, but actually it helped me kick back and relax and enjoy the remainder of my time in the lounge. As ever with these experiences, time passes ever so fast, and it wasn't long, room key in hand, before the announcements were then underway and they were making final preparations for departure. Alrighty, so that was a great couple of hours relaxing in the lounge before boarding. The train is just here behind me, so nice and convenient, but now is to find exactly where I'm going to be spending the night. Let's go. And it's going to be carriage J for us this evening. Whilst there were plenty of helpful staff around, they were very happy for me to crack on and see exactly where we're going to be spending the next 12 hours or so together. So a very warm welcome aboard the Caledonian Sleeper. First impressions were really very good. I love the tartan carpets, all of the fixtures and fittings were of suitably high quality. That corridor, however, was incredibly slim and I was mighty glad that I didn't have any large pieces of luggage with me. Next up, let's check out the room. Wow, here we go then, my very own private little suite aboard a train. The room that I'd gone for was the Caledonian Double. It's the most expensive room possible on board. It affords the double bed and also ensuite bathroom. Whilst it wasn't palatial for sure in size, by train standards, my goodness, was this an awful lot of personal space. Just like my experience on the rest of the train so far, the room was wonderfully decked out. I loved how they managed to infuse that feeling of Scottish design into the room itself. The tartan surrounding the bed also looked really very good. There was a decent sized window for those eventual fantastic views out, and there were plenty of creature comfort, such as a little bit of storage for suitcases and also plenty of charging options. Whenever you're doing a real luxury experience, I think it's important to feel at home straight away. Ultimately, this needs to feel like a little bit of a home from home. Being aboard the Caledonian Sleeper, whether it's the welcome gifts or the general feel of the room, it definitely managed to achieve this. Alrighty, so that's us arrived here into the room. It's small, but actually it's cozy. It's nice. If you had 2 large suitcases, space would be at a premium. There's a little bit of room under the bed, but it's not extensive. But certainly for one passenger, my goodness, does this feel like the VIP train experience tonight? Now, there are a couple of jobs ahead of me. First things first, I need to fill out the breakfast card. If I want to have breakfast in the dining room, I need to reserve my spot in the morning. So that's something that we'll do together. Next up, I'm going to take a little look into the bathroom, but otherwise key priority tonight is to get on into that dining car before it gets too busy. So we'll do that next. Alrighty, so that's us checking out the bathroom. It's a snug little space, but actually, like the room, it's functional. Snug was perhaps a kind word to use there on camera. It was incredibly tight, but really to have your own personal space like this on a train is a real blessing. And although it was fairly utilitarian, one could say, it was actually really very good to have in the room. A little bit later in the video, I will try showering after a number of drinks whilst the train is moving along, and that I can tell you is a hell of a challenge. At this point in time, I was feeling nicely settled in as we rolled out of London Euston station, but also incredibly hungry. So let's head to dinner and see what the club car has got in store. With all the relaxing in the room, it was a little bit later by the time I got into the club car, but that actually played really very well. Indeed, there was a little bit of a rush hour initially, but after that things got nice and quiet. I received a warm welcome into the dining car, which once again, just like the room and the rest of the train, was nicely appointed. It was an extensive menu on board with many different local Scottish flavours as well. And as you'd fully expect with the video on this channel, we'll be doing a number of the courses together because as ever, I've brought my appetite. But I was keen to keep as strong a Scottish flavour as possible with everything that I was consuming. So whilst the train was racing along through the Midlands, I got started with an Edinburgh gin and tonic. First test, thoroughly passed. The gin and tonic was a great way of getting us started this evening. We'll then move on to the mac and cheese. It's a dish that I associate ever so strongly with Scotland, and it's this hearty kind of food that's ever so warming on these cold spring evenings. In line with that, I then went for the cheese board for dessert, which featured a number of cheeses from across Scotland. That was paired with a tailor's port, as the two of them do go ever so well together, and at that moment in time, we were then starting our approach into Birmingham. So at long last, we've got the port. Let's give this a little go. Cheers. And yes, as you'd fully expect, the port was amazing. I have to say, this is the most bizarre experience. Just sat there having a cheese board with port, and all of a sudden you rock up in Birmingham. There's people waiting to get onto the train. It's not really something you're quite used to. On the one hand, it feels like a luxury hotel on wheels, but on the other, a regular train that just pulls into the station and people get on. Something to get used to, I guess. Cheers. And it was at that moment in time that quite how much I'd had to eat and drink was finally dawning on me as I was trying to wedge myself down the train corridor to turn in for a night of relaxation before arriving into Scotland. You know, I'm on a bit of a mission this year. I want to find those travel experiences that still feel like magic in 2026, whether it's riding an overnight train in a bed fit for a king, or finding that budget first class experience that still feels really special. If you want to uncover those hidden gems with me, tap subscribe and YouTube will help you stay fully up to date with the channel. Alrighty, so shower done and now into this incredibly comfortable bed. I have to say, showering on board a train is a real art that I haven't quite learned just yet. But that all rounded off what's been a really awesome night aboard the Caledonian Sleeper. As for ahead of us, we've got some really cool things upcoming. In the morning, breakfast is booked 7:30 and it will be a view overlooking the Scottish Highlands as we traverse through on our way to Inverness. That's something that I'm really looking forward to. But something that I'm looking forward to even more so just before then is a few hours of very well earned rest before we arrive into Scotland. So for now, over and out. I'll be honest, getting a solid 8 hours sleep on a train is a bit of an art form, but as you roll over, slide up the window blind, you're hit with this. Waking up to the mist rolling over the Scottish Highlands from the comfort of your own private suite, this is exactly why this train is legendary. It's absolutely breathtaking. Very good morning from the Caledonian National Park. I have to say, some of the views outside have already been absolutely stunning. But for now, breakfast is calling. So let's go and see what a Scottish breakfast really looks like. And perhaps even more importantly than purely a Scottish breakfast, let's head on down and see what a breakfast on a train that costs £445 looks like. As we head down to the club car, just like last night, it was surprisingly quiet. The crew were ever so kind and arranged me a booth for two, just like last night, but actually one of the single seats looking out of the windows would have been just as good that morning, with thanks to those fantastic views. Alrighty, well that's us arrived here into the breakfast car. As you can see, amazing views out the window. Can't wait to get into the food. The train's pace was much slower by morning, stopping at many little smaller towns and tiny villages. It very much added to the experience. Going that bit slower allowed you to soak in what were some really fantastic views out of the window. Ultimately, I think for me, a big part of the experience is being able to sit there on a train, enjoying food, drink, and new company, and whiling away those views as the world goes by. Whilst there are a number of options on the breakfast menu, as already promised, it's the Scottish breakfast that we're going to be sampling together. I only felt that this was right. There were a number of brand new items on there for me that I'd never tried before, and I have to say everything was perfectly cooked. But trying haggis for the first time was actually something that I reserved for this train ride, so let's dig in and see what it's like. For those of you unfamiliar, haggis is the national dish of Scotland. On first impressions, I was a little bit unsure, but actually the taste was excellent. And this for me summed up the value proposition quite nicely with the Caledonian Sleeper. It's that opportunity to try brand new things so often that makes travel experiences truly feel special. So in that regard, this breakfast delivered very well indeed. So with the breakfast done, I have to say, I was incredibly full. Amongst many things, that breakfast was very heavy indeed. So it was nice to be able to return back to the cabin for half an hour to 45 minutes or so of rest and relaxation for our eventual arrival into Inverness. I have to say, once again, little quirky things on a train, being stood there brushing your teeth with views out over the Scottish Highlands was truly surreal, and again, it was one of those little things that made this experience feel truly special. But it wasn't long before the beautiful Highlands landscapes and majestic glens gave way to modern suburbia as Inverness came into view. Alrighty, so that's us arrived into a very grey Inverness in Scotland. Really hope you've enjoyed today's video. As a final verdict, if you want the fastest way to get to Scotland, I'd fly. If you want the story, however, I'd go with the Caledonian Sleeper. Stay subscribed, and I'll see you in another one real soon.